applications of Henry's law. We know already Henry's law is given as partial pressure of the gas exerted depends on the mole fraction of the solute, and the solubility of that gas is in terms of Chi2. So this Chi2 is the mole fraction of gas as a solute, and Kh is a Henry's constant, and for each gas it has got different values. So Henry's constant, then P2 is partial pressure of the gas dissolved in the liquid. Now the application aspect. It is used to increase the solubility of carbon dioxide in soft drinks. Okay, so how can you increase the solubility? By increasing the pressure, is it not? Partial pressure. Secondly, the scuba divers, they must cope up with the high concentration of dissolved gases. The scuba divers, they should manage they must cope with high pressure or high concentration of dissolved gases while breathing air at high pressure. Breathing air at high pressure underwater. You know very well, in deep water you will have more pressure. Going down, the pressure increases. Is it not? So high pressure underwater, high concentration. So high concentration of dissolved oxygen. So they have to cope up with this. So the increased pressure will have increased solubility, is it not, of atmospheric gases in blood. So second point, this is point number 1. Point number 2, increased pressure increases the solubility of atmospheric gas in blood. Okay. When the scuba diver comes out, comes out to the surface, of water, the pressure gradually decreases. Pressure comes down. Is it not? Take down, pressure comes down. So this release of gas, gases leads to formation of bubble. Formation of bubbles of nitrogen in the blood vessels. This blocks capillaries and it's called bends. This is called bends. This condition is called bends. So what is bends? The block of capillaries by the release of nitrogen when the scuba diver comes up to the surface. Because of the release of these gases, it will develop bubbles in the capillaries and causes bends. Okay, so it's a medical condition. So this is a medical condition. And it will be painful. This causes painful and even dangerous. Okay. So to avoid bends, and also to avoid the toxic effect of nitrogen. Because these nitrogen will be trapped in the bubbles as bubbles in the bends. Nitrogen in blood the divers, scuba divers take tanks filled with 11.7% helium, 56.2% nitrogen and 3.1%, 32.1% oxygen. So at high altitude, at high altitudes, the partial pressure of oxygen is less than at ground level, less than the deep, that is PO2 at surface. PO2 is, PO2 at high altitude, you can put at H, is less than PO2 of surface. Surface means ground. So in that case, this low pressure of oxygen causes mountain climbers very weak and unable to think. So this disease is called anoxia. Is a medical condition and medical symptom. So at lower level, at higher level. At higher level, partial pressure of oxygen is low. At lower level, the partial pressure of oxygen high. Here the problem is high pressure of gas, more dissolution, that results more concentration of gas. That causes, when they climb up, it causes bends. That is a condition, medical condition. Whereas in the case of these mountaineering people, they develop anoxia because at ground level the pressure will be more and here it is less. Okay. So here low pressure, low concentration of oxygen. So they become weak and causes anoxia. Okay. So let us recap. Application of Henry's law. Henry's law states that the solubility in terms of mole fraction of the dissolved gas is proportional to the pressure. And we introduce the Henry's constant here. Then applications. There are three important applications. One is increase of solubility in carbon dioxide in soft drinks. Second, for scuba diving when they go down and come up. And what is the medical condition? Bend. What is bend? The sudden release of gases like nitrogen. When they come to the surface, what happens? It causes bubbles in the capillaries. So that will block. And not only that, this nitrogen develops as a toxic one. Okay. So in order to avoid that one, nowadays they use a mixer of oxygen and nitrogen along with helium. And the next one is, that is the high altitude problem. So here, what is the medical condition? Anoxia. What is anoxia? Weakness and unable to think. So at high altitude, what happens? The pressure of oxygen is less than that of the ground level. And therefore, the low pressure causes what? Weakness, low concentration of oxygen in blood. So if there is low concentration in blood, you will feel weak. And naturally, you are unable to think. And that results in anoxia. Okay? Right.